in terms of the why, my why, what you see here is the much younger me who's always loved learning, and the much older me who continued that journey of learning. And I think that the best way to explain my why, I think that page 1 actually of my book does a good job of explaining what that journey, what this process was like. And so I would just like to begin the reading now, if you don't mind. So those of you who have the book, if you have it with you, the Mindset Advantage, if you want to read along, you can. But I'm just going to read page 1 and just maybe a couple of paragraphs from page 2 to explain how did we get here. When I began my career as a community college educator over 30 years ago, I struggled. I was a first-generation student who doubted herself, even though I excelled academically. The signs were present that I was bright. Early on, I discovered I loved words, how they could make us feel and do things. When it came time for me to pick out my Easter speech, I would choose the long ones. 1, because I wanted to challenge myself, and 2, because the adults would reward those of us with long speeches with additional applause. I stayed on the honor roll and was selected to perform in local pageants, which came with trips, scholarships, and the crown. Thanks to mentors and years of singing, speaking, and performing in church, I won most of the pageants I entered. I wore the crown like a queen for a year, a shimmering symbol of my hard-earned victory and the honor of reigning until the next year's pageant, when the crown would be passed like a torch to the next deserving winner. With unwavering conviction and pride, my elders would declare, "Girl, you're gonna be somebody someday." Their words carried the weight of expectation and hope, and for a long time, I held onto them as truth. Despite all my achievements, the glow of my crown couldn't shield me from what came next. The confidence I had built through titles and accolades began to waver the moment I stepped into my first college classroom. Surrounded by unfamiliar faces, I quickly realized I was one of few African-American students, and doubt crippled me. What should have been a time for fun and meeting new people turned into a constant battle of proving myself. My mind was always racing. I kept asking myself, am I smart enough? Do I belong here? The 4.0 GPA my freshman year should have been the answer, but the doubt still lingered, whispering that I had to work twice as hard to prove my worth. After graduating from college, I became a community college professor, but in the beginning, connecting with my students was a struggle. Cultural differences may have played a role, but more than that, my own self-doubt held me back. I hesitated to seek help, fearing it would only confirm my deepest insecurity that I didn't belong. I later realized I wasn't alone in this experience. Career and leadership coach Kathy Caprino acknowledges that many early career professionals grapple with self-esteem, confidence, communication, and negative internal beliefs that can shape or limit their success. At the heart of my struggles was something I didn't yet have a name for, and I needed a name for it because what is named can be claimed and changed. After some reading and research, I realized I had fallen into patterns of cognitive distortions, subtle but powerful ways of thinking that can undermine confidence and decision-making and affect the way we engage with others. And then I think I want to skip to a paragraph down if you're following along. Once I recognized what was preventing me from showing up fully, I began to shift my perspective, and that is when everything changed. Even more so, my transformed mindset positively impacted my students, colleagues, and the professionals I later trained. And so I think I'll stop there. That's how I got here